Welcome back. A pandemic, a pregnancy, and a lost job. Tough combination for a Milwaukee woman who contacted us for help.
The I-Team's Kristen Byrne discovered that this can be a gray area, one that left this woman feeling ignored.
When you fill out an unemployment form with the state, you need to be honest about whether you can work. That can determine whether you'll get paid. Deshina Metoxen says she told the truth and said she couldn't work because she was pregnant and she was close to her due date. And she says that honesty is what hurt her. From the pictures she took at work, you can tell Deshina was a proud employee at Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Her pregnant belly also contributed to these smiles. She was expecting a baby boy in June, but then COVID hit and she was furloughed. She applied for unemployment and wrote in the comment section why she couldn't work.
It was asking me why I couldn't find a job. And I was like, well, I'm pregnant. So who's going to hire someone who's going to be due in about a month or so?
She says the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development put her case under review. She clarified with the state she could work all the way up to when she gave birth. Her unemployment pay was approved until then. If Deshina was still working at Potawatomi, she would have had 6 weeks of paid maternity leave. But when she lost her job, her health and paid leave benefits went away. She hoped to fall back on those unemployment checks.
And if I never stated that I wasn't pregnant, they would have never known and I would have been paid the full pay. It does feel like a discrimination because for them to say, no, for 6 weeks is, we're not going to pay you for full 6 weeks. If my job told me that, I would have been, well, I'm good. I'll go back to work right away.
The I-Team reached out to the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. A spokesperson told us in part, quote, under federal and state law, in order to continue to be eligible for UI, all claimants must be able and available for work. Attorney Sunu Chandy is a legal director for the National Women's Law Center.
Reasonable belief on her part. Why should I bother to do this? We all know I'm going to face pregnancy discrimination. It's so rampant.
Chandy says pregnant women are protected under the law and should apply to jobs knowing it's illegal for an employer to discriminate against them. She says Deshina's case exposes other important conversations.
Sort of brings up a whole nother host of, work and family and balance and how the sort of harm of that often falls on women. Perhaps you are available for work if there was childcare available or if there was a fixed schedule.
Deshina has been staying home to take care of little Lionel, who goes by Leo.
6 weeks goes by so quick. And it's a good bonding time for that newborn and mother.
She plans to go back to work at Potawatomi once the right job opens up. Looking back, do you think, did I do the right thing?
I question that now, and I'm like, I feel like I made a mistake, but in my honesty, that's what actually hurt me the most.
We reached out to Potawatomi, and a spokesperson for the casino says that they can't comment on individual personnel matters. Deshina has filed an appeal with the Department of Workforce Development, and a spokesperson for that agency says that she could apply for pandemic unemployment assistance, which is offered to workers who aren't covered by regular unemployment. She applied, and her case is pending. For the I-Team, I'm Kristen Byrne.
Department of Workforce Development told us it investigates whether a person purposefully hid information on his or her employment application or if that person genuinely just made a mistake.
If the agency determines fraud was committed, the penalties are severe. People can either have their benefits cut drastically, be fined as much as $500 for each act of fraud, and face jail time for as long as 90 days for each week where they committed the said fraud.